Hello guys and gals, this here's the third horseman. You know this. I don't have to do an introduction every fucking time. You can tell by the fucking channel this is the third horseman. Duh. Anyways. A realization just came to me. Granted, I'm still young. I'm 23, but when I was younger, I was a heavy gamer. Like to the point where I'd rather piss myself rather than go to the bathroom. I wouldn't shit myself, but I got really good at holding it in for a few days. But anyways, you know, I used to be a very avid gamer. And I still consider myself a gamer, just not to the extent that I used to be. I'm a very productive person. You know, yes, I'm a gamer, but I'm productive. You know, I've realized, you know, being an adult is not all it's chalked up to be. I mean, you know, it's nice. You can do things that you weren't able to do as a kid. I mean, you know, being out at all hours of the night, driving around town, doing adult shit, I guess. I don't know. Just going out and fucking about. I don't know if there's any youngsters that'll watch this. All my video, or most of my videos, actually all but one of my videos is, actually all but two, I think, are age restricted. Because there's a lot of swearing and, you know, I smoke on camera. But if there are any youngsters watching this, people in my generation, or in the next generation, Gen Alpha, I think. Fucking generational names. It's like, I'm a Gen Z. I was born right at the beginning of Gen Z. You know, October 5th, 2001. I believe Gen Z started in September of 2001. I believe. But you know, I was raised by a baby boomer and a Gen X. I'm pretty well-rounded, but like I don't have the same mentality as most of my generation. As a matter of fact, I'm ashamed of most of my generation. I got a few videos that are labeled shitting on Gen Z. Knowing that I'm Gen Z, like, anyways. What was I saying? Fuck. I went off on a side tangent and forgot my main point. Hold on. That's what it was. I had to pause my recording to remember. Granted, it only took like 30 seconds to remember. Anyways, my main point is, for any youngsters watching this, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, whatever, if you're still under 18, you know, don't try to grow up fast, I guess. Like when I was a kid, so like under 18, when I wasn't legally an adult, all I'd ever say, I can't wait to be a grown-up, I can't wait to be a grown-up, I can't wait to be a grown-up, I can do anything I want. You know, I can stay up at all hours of the night, I can do this, I can do that, blah, 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 blah. And what I would give to be a kid again. I'm only 23, but my God, I've lived a fucking life. Still young, but I don't feel young. You know, I've been to jail 3 times. I went through a re-entry program to get free again. You know, it's not a long time. I mean, it's a long time to me, but compared to other people, like, it's not a long time. But 1 year, 4 months, and a week of my life I spent incarcerated. In total. Over 3 times in jail, and the 1 time in the re-entry program after jail. After the 3rd time I was in jail. A year, 4 months, and 1 week. Exactly. And that's time I can never get back. But yeah, just don't grow up too fast. You know, if you're still a kid, enjoy being a kid. It's funny, I started this with my realization of still being a gamer but being productive, and here we are with don't grow up too fast. Listen, there's not a lot of, you know, you're not a kid for a lot of time. So enjoy it while you have it, because the rest of your life, you're going to be an adult. Like, once you're not a kid anymore, you're an adult until you die. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're a guy, I know you're going to be a kid for the rest of your life at the same time as being an adult, because most of us guys are still pretty childish. You know, I've laughed about farts with 60-year-old men. Hell, I've laughed about farts with 80-year-old men. I mean, seriously, like, us guys are kids for fucking ever. You know, we just have a little bit of maturity and then we fuck off and do silly shit. Women are more serious. Women don't really have a funny bone once they hit 18. Honestly, they don't have a funny bone once they hit 15. Trust me, I know. Trying to joke around with girls in school when I was still in 8th grade, I think, and they just weren't having it. I had a better time joking around with guys than I did girls when I was in school, because they just didn't have a funny bone in their fucking body. Real buzzkills. But anyways, don't grow up too fast. Enjoy your childhood while you still have it. Because once you're an adult and you start taking on more responsibility, you know, you get a job, you get a house, you get a car, you have kids. You know, there's a lot less time to be a kid. You have to be responsible. You have to, you know, do your job. And if you have people to look up to you, you have to be a leader. Say, like, you know, yeah, I'm still a gamer, but I've got responsibilities. You know, I have to look after the house. I have to pay my bills. And on top of that, I want to make this property better. So, you know, starting with the driveway, tearing up all the concrete, putting in a big pile in front of or behind the mailboxes in the front yard. You know, so I can get it paved. And, you know, figuring out a way to sell all this concrete. You know, I got it listed on two websites for sale. And if it doesn't sell by the time I'm done putting more concrete in the pile, I'm going to take it down to a place 10 minutes from here and sell it that way. But, like, I have a bunch of responsibilities that I have to, you know, deal with. I have so much stress in my life. And, you know, not just the driveway and looking after the house and bills and shit, but just, you know, my mom passing away and losing a bunch of stuff that I can never get back. I know it's just stuff, but it's stuff that meant something to my mom, it means something to me because it meant something to her. And I can't ever get it back. And just the stress of everything. Like I said in the video last night, I feel like Atlas with the weight of the world on my shoulders. And fuck, why do you think I smoke? I started smoking in the Rancher program when I was 20. Like, I had just turned 20. I still had a full year until I was 21. And yet I started smoking when I was 20 just because of how stressful that Rancher program was. I mean, fuck, I had 5 days from my out date in the Rancher program, and they extended me 45 days. So I went from 5 days to 50, and that kind of pissed me off, and I started smoking because of that. And I'm glad I smoke now at the same time as regretting it, because of all the stress that I have. You know, I was an alcoholic, and now I'm a recovering alcoholic. I mean, I was an alcoholic before I even went to jail when I was 18. I've been drinking since I was 14. And I just stopped this year. March 10th was my last day of, or actually March 10th was my first day of being sober. March 9th was my last day of drinking. And all that. Yeah. Being an adult isn't as fun as most kids think it is. So, like I say, if you're a youngster watching this, stay a kid as long as you can. Because once you start getting more responsibilities, life becomes harder, less fun. Don't get me wrong, sometimes there's a nice break in the mess of fucking just life. It's like, at the same time as redoing the driveway, looking after the house, making sure all the bills are paid, and doing shit with the backyard so I can put a shed back there, I'm also trying to get my license. And when I get my license, I'm going to try and get a car. When I get a car, I'll be able to just relax. And I'll be able to get in the car in the fucking middle of the night if I want to, and drive around town just for the fuck of it. It's one of the nice things about owning a car. You can just drive. You get too stressed, go for a drive. You get angry, go for a drive. You get sad, go for a drive. You just need to fucking relax, go for a drive. I can't do that right now. I don't have a vehicle anymore. I say anymore because I did have a vehicle. Even though I didn't have a license, I still drove it. I drove it down to Louisiana, and I lost it in Louisiana. Had 3 backseat drivers and yapping off, and I ended up turning too sharp on a left turn and fucking hit someone. Yeah. And I got back up here to Michigan. Some people gave me a ride. My grand sponsor, so my sponsor's sponsor, drove me up to Memphis, Tennessee, and then I got switched cars, and had some other people drive me from Memphis up to Lansing, Michigan. But yeah, lost the car, or the SUV. It was a 2016 Toyota 4Runner SRT. It was my mom's truck. The truck's name was Pearl, because it was a nice pearl color. Anyway, like a dark pearl. But yeah, I just wanted to talk, as usual. Another PSA, if you don't already smoke, don't start, because it isn't good for you. I only smoke because of all the stress, but for people who don't smoke, find another vice. Don't go to alcohol, don't go to cigarettes, don't go to chewing, chewing tobacco. I do that too. If you already dip, I recommend Copenhagen Mint Long Cut. It's my favorite. Don't go for the fine cut unless you already, dip with the fine cut stuff. It's basically like wet powder to me. I just can't do it. I got 2 cans of Grizzly Wintergreen Fine Cut. I'm saving those for after the Copenhagen is gone. But yeah. Stay a kid. Don't smoke. Don't drink. Don't chew. Have fun while you can. It's basically the moral of this video. Alright, y'all. Have a good one. Third Horseman out.